Hello. So we've got another show today. Uh, the last couple of shows have been quite interesting, and I've got some very good feedback. So I will keep working on creating some interesting shows so that you all keep coming back. Today I'm going to speak of something about very different. Okay, I'm going to try and make it interesting. Let's see how it goes because I've got something in mind. I'm going to share it. And yeah, let's see how it goes. So I don't know how many of you people have watched or grew up with Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry is possibly the longest running cartoon either in print or on television. Yeah. Um, you know why it's the longest running? It's it's fantastic at what a beautiful insight it works on. Uh, the day Jerry loses, Tom and Jerry as an idea is over. Yeah, uh, the underdog winning is a is the basis of this whole network, Cartoon Network. So there's Tom, there's Jerry, the big dog. Jerry fights all the battles, and Jerry wins. The day Jerry loses, there is no Tom and Jerry. So that is Tom and Jerry for you. A lot of you, in fact, most of you would have remember the Ramayana. It used to come on Sundays at 9 a.m. I remember if there was a power failure, the substation would get burnt. That was the kind of commitment, loyalty that program commanded. It was fabulous. In those days, it was made with that technology quite brilliantly. Then, uh, then I don't know if you remember the Richard Attenborough Gandhi. Ben Kingsley acted in it. I think after that movie, his career pretty much ended. It ended because he did such a fantastic job. People saw him as Gandhi. Why am I saying all this? Why am I telling you about Tom and Jerry and Ramayana and Gandhi, Ben Kingsley's Gandhi? Is because uh, in creativity there are two kinds of creativity. There's one creativity which is uh, abstract, which is very fantasy driven, which is very artist led, and there's another form of creativity which is to do with consumer consumption. When you create anything that has to be consumed by a large number of people, whether it is advertising, films, any content, then you need to keep in mind what triggers a response, a good response and a bad response. If you're doing art, then it is completely your call, your domain, your audience, your world, your country. I remember many years back, I had gone to Jahangir Art Gallery because people told me the famous Hussein Ganesha is on display there, and I'm not an arty type at all. So I went, like most other people, and we walked around the gallery for about half an hour. Lots of good stuff on display, and then finally I went and asked the guy at the curator. I said, "Where is this famous Hussein Ganesha man?" So that guy took me to a painting which was quite large. I think it must have been 5 feet by 5 feet, black in color, and it had a stroke of Ganesha's trunk on it in red. But that is art. That is art which I don't understand. That's a very expensive painting. It was sold for tons of rupees. But that is limited to Hussein, people who love his paintings, his world. But the moment you get into a larger form of creativity, which is commercial creativity, then these things don't work. Then you need to keep in mind what works at a larger level. And normally, what works at a larger level is what sits in the subconscious of your consumer. Uh, the human mind processes a lot of information, and that information has some images. Now, if you want to tamper with those images, you're going to get into serious trouble. Look at any good advertising that you remember. Look at Jagore, where a young kid questions a politician. That's a very subconscious, latent need of pretty much everyone, and the kid exploits it. If you look at the Asian Paints ad, Mera Wala Pink, every woman wants her house to have that color. Therefore, Mera Wala Pink works over there. Celebration of happiness, kuch meeta ho jaye. Now, these are all mass insights which operate at a very subconscious level, and all these emotions are triggered by one little input. And as a consumer, when I'm watching an ad or I'm watching a film, I'd like to be I'd like to be there in that. That is why you create things like that. If you look at Shah Rukh Khan, why is he called a romantic hero? He's called a romantic hero because he triggers that emotion in you that you want to stand on the bridge and wait for the girl to look back, or you want to be at that the entrance of the railway bogie where Simran is chasing you and you're going to reach out to her. These are all subconscious emotions of nearly every young man in this country, which Shah Rukh Khan triggers. And that is why he is known as the romantic hero. Salman, the other extreme, young gunda. Every youngster wants to be a Salman Khan, which is beautiful, but he's triggered that emotion, and that's the emotion on which he plays. You can't change these. These are built over um, years, generations, and people, people as actors, as advertising people, we look for that trigger. When you want to change the personality of a character, whether it is politician or it is a mythological character, you need to be very, very careful, because uh, at a subconscious level, there's an image created about that character. Whether it is Hanuman, whether it is Gandhi, whether it is Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, at a subconscious level, I have an image of that deity or that person. I can't change that. You can't flirt with it. Uh, the big debate today in this country about this big film that got released, I'm not going to watch it. And I'm not going to watch it because in my head, I have an image of Lord Hanuman. And I don't want to change that. I don't want to change it for the bad. I may want to change it for the good. Uh, I did not watch any of the last biopics that are made in this country, whether it is on Manmohan Singh or on Modi or on Jayalalitha. Not because I don't like to watch them. It's just that these people don't do enough homework and they don't respect the consumer's subconscious opinion about those people. The reason why Richard Attenborough's Gandhi is so fantastic is because when you read about Gandhi, when you are thought about Gandhi, and when you watch the film, there is no conflict. Yeah, they've taken some creative liberties, but that's all within a boundary of being correct. Uh, there is a Hanuman, there is a Ram, there is a Krishna. That can't change, and that should not change, because faith has a lot of dimensions, and one of the big dimensions of faith is hope. And these people give hope to millions of people who revere them, pray, respect. I'll give you a story of N.T. Ramarao. I've heard this from a couple of people. So when N.T. Ramarao was at his peak of his acting career, he went to Delhi to meet some politicians, and he met some really big politicians. And one of the politicians called him a Madrasi actor. He said, "No, I'm not a Madrasi actor. I'm a Telugu actor." And that triggered the formation of the Telugu Desam party. And he swore to himself that he'll get rid of Congress from Andhra Pradesh because they called him a Madrasi. But that is a very subconscious pain that he felt. And N.T. Ramarao, all through his political career, was the incarnation of Krishna. If you ask anyone in Andhra Pradesh, they will tell you that personification of Krishna was best done by N.T. Ramarao. So when N.T. Ramarao entered politics, every woman, every child, every girl went and blindly voted for him because he was the incarnation of Krishna. That's the power of what an actor can do. That's the power of what a cast can do. That's the power of what a good script can do. That's the power of understanding the the relationship between a deity and a devotee. You can't flirt with that. And if things are tanking, things are bombing because people have flirted with that, I feel sorry for them, but you can't fix it. You have to tank it. You have to dump it. You will have to come back with something better. But flirting with the subconscious mind of the consumer, with your creative interpretation of what you think is correct, is I think is the worst thing you can do as a person. Uh, and this is my view on this subject. As an advertising guy, as a guy who deals with consumers, as a guy who's created lots of advertising, mass advertising, where people have responded to, uh, I think the film industry needs to be very careful when they do stuff like this. It's not correct. It will hurt, and it will hurt people who put money into your project. It will hurt people who are watching you. It's incorrect, and I just think going forward they need to be a lot more careful. They need to be a lot more conscious, and they need to respect a whole lot of emotions and a whole lot of relationships that these characters have with their faith holders. Uh, my bit on the subject, uh, and I hope these things don't happen in the future. God bless. Thank you. Bye.